Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. We are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. We're going to talk about Matt Shaw's new role on the team. I expect us to keep Nico Warner throughout the season. Hopefully, we extend the second baseman, but that means Matt Shaw's role is going to shift a little bit. It's going to be very interesting to watch how it plays out. More news on Cody Bellinger we're going to report. Not going to be a Cub, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just get that out there in front of you right now. But again, he's a big piece in the free agency market, and, it's going to help determine where other players go. There's no doubt about it. The Cubs signed another minor league arm to help solidify the pitching staff, and then we're 3 weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. We're 3 weeks away from pitchers and catchers roughly reporting. So before we get into all that, just want to give everyone a big thank you again from the bottom of my heart, continuing to show awesome support to the channel. We are cruising past 1.1K here in a matter of days. You guys are the absolute best. Let's keep growing. Let's keep rotating. This channel is going to explode, and hopefully I'm going to be able to expand the content with it. That is my personal plan with this channel. So let's talk about Matt Shaw, right? Matt Shaw stepped up in the 2025 season, playing an incredible third base defensively. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Remember when we drafted Shaw, right? It was the power. It was the raw power. He was a solid shortstop, no doubt about it. But again, it was the hitting ability with Matt Shaw that the Cubs really, really liked. And, we just weren't 100% sure, right? He's a natural-born shortstop. Again, when you play Little League baseball and other levels of baseball, you tend to play multiple positions. It's kind of, obviously you have your strength position, your favorite position, right? But when you start playing the infield, you can kind of do second and third. Maybe it's not your best, but again, you watch Nico Warner, right? He's a natural-born shortstop. Moved over to second just fine. They're kind of interchangeable. Third base is a little bit different, but Matt Shaw stepped in and did his fantastic job, was a Gold Glove Award finalist. Obviously, the hitting has stuff to be worked on. We know that with Matt Shaw, but a lot of rookies aren't that super successful. Do you remember what PCA looked like? He looked way worse, in my opinion, than Matt Shaw, and then it clicked. I don't think it's clicked yet for Matt Shaw, and I do think that's a possibility that it happens this year. Now, he's going to be our super utility guy, right? Really, really excellent defensive player. He can play third. He can play short. He can play second. Odds are he won't play too much short. He'll probably, either slide in at third behind Bregman for defensive purposes or to give Bregman a day off. He'll play second when Dansby and or Nico need a day off, right? Because Nico can kind of slide over to shortstop as well. They said, hey, get your outfield glove. You're going to be playing some left and right field, hopefully. So very curious to see how he reacts to right field, right? Because that's one of the big questions. Playing right field at Wrigley Field is not easy. So hopefully Matt Shaw continues to get those reps, which is critical, in my opinion, of those developments. And I think that's why when we traded away Owen Casey, not to get too sidetracked here, I think it was okay. Because, again, we have a lot of bats still that need development, but not a lot of spots in the lineup for them to hit, right? Like Moises Ballesteros, we need him to get reps as well. And please don't even get me started on Kevin Alcantara. Where's he gonna play? That's kind of just where my questions start to run through my head. Like, something's got to be done with these guys, especially if we're not going to be able, to re-sign Ian Happ or Nico Orsia, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be very curious to see how it all plays out. But that's going to be Matt Shaw's new role with the club, ladies and gentlemen. Super utility infielder. I have no doubt he will be successful. And again, maybe early on in the 2026 seasons, things will start to click for him offensively. I'm sure he'll hit more towards the bottom of the lineup, but again, get him in there versus lefties. He started to figure it out towards the end. Obviously, the postseason wasn't our favorite moments with him. But again, he's a patient guy at the plate, generally draws a lot of walks. I think he will be fine at this level. So, more news on Cody Bellinger. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think the Cubs are in on him. But it is said, Ken Rosenthal said, a decision will be made this week. Apparently, the Yankees are stuck at 5 years, $160 million. He wants to go 7 years, but the Yankees just aren't willing to give it to him. That's the only known offer on the market that I've heard of for him. So I'm curious as to what the holdup is. There must be another potential suitor out there offering him some really, really good money for him to be holding up this long. So Ken Rosenthal said, hey, expect a decision within the week. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't expect the Cubs to sign him. I would give it less than a 5% chance. But we don't really tell y'all things, right? The Cubs brass is not known to communicate who they're going for. So also, it wouldn't surprise me at the very least on the small percentage that he comes back on a 2-year, $80 million deal or some ridiculous, either way. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not expecting it by any means. I think I've heard the Mets are in on him. The Blue Jays as well, as kind of a last-ditch effort since they weren't able to get Tucker or Bichette. Curious to see where he goes, because wherever he goes, the dominoes will fall. The White Sox, or the White Sox and the Mets just got Luis Robert as well. So if they're looking to continue to solidify that outfield, Bellinger would be a good fit. And then that lineup, man, if it gets rolling, the Mets are an issue. You saw them a couple years ago. They got to the NLCS. They did fall short, unfortunately, but they need more pitching. So, curious to see how they react to that. The Cubs do sign a minor league deal with right-handed pitcher Trenton Thornton. He was of the Seattle Mariners. He pitched a couple seasons. He's got some okay stuff. He's got 130 strikeouts in 140 innings, 3.65 ERA. He's coming off an Achilles injury, which kind of had some setbacks last year. So again, it's another reclamation project for the Cubs. No guarantee, not a 40-man roster spot. Maybe they invite to spring training. But hey, you never know which guy's going to click, right? You never know which guy's going to click. They're going to be a part of the solution to what you're looking for your pitching staff and your bullpen. He's got some good plus stuff in terms of the analytics. But either way, I'm not sure how much of an impact he's going to have on this 2026 team. But the Cubs just continue to stockpile arms, and they keep throwing darts at the wall, right? Darts at the wall, and they're going to figure out who could be a reliable arm in the pen for them in the 2026 season. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, 3 weeks. I Googled it on AI, and I said, hey, when do pitchers and catchers report? And they said, hey, pitchers and catchers typically around February 10th through the 12th. As of recording, this is January 21st. That's right in between, in my opinion, right? 28th to the 4th. 4th to the 10th. Bam. Pitchers and catchers will be reporting. And we will be gearing up for baseball season. And I am beyond excited for the 2026 season. What a time to start this channel, right, ladies and gentlemen? Last year, we traded for Kyle Tucker. Expectations changed. Now, the expectations are the same. We want to get back to October. We want to do well in October. We want a chance at the Dodgers in the NLCS or whenever we catch our matchup with them. And I think our pitching is absolutely sensational as it sits right now. The rumors are we're still going after Zach, or we're still in talks with Zach Gallen as well. Cubs brass have said they are not concerned about the tax of 2026. Do they know something? I'm genuinely curious. I don't think it would change in any capacity. But either way, they said Craig Kenny has said he's wanted to make the 2026 season special. I don't know what that means, though, ladies and gentlemen. He's the business operations developer or whatever his position is. But either way, it's the 10-year anniversary of the 2016 team, so I'm sure they're going to pull out all the stops for all the players on that team and all the ceremonies and all that stuff. But I want to make 2026 another title year, because in 2036, we could celebrate the 20-year anniversary and the 10-year anniversary of Chicago Cubs title teams, and that sounds like a great time to this guy right here. And I'm sure it sounds like a great time to you all as well. So getting ramped up here for Major League Baseball season. It's January. It's cold, but I'm imagining those warm, sunny days at Wrigley Field. And I hope you guys are as well. Hope you all have a great, fantastic rest of your day. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 2K. Let's get after it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.